The next morning, Amina walked through the campus like a storm shadowed her. Everything felt different, more vivid, more fragile, more urgent. She was intimate with Jae-min yesterday, and the world had shifted. Every glance at him, every brush of his arm carried weight now. She didn't notice Daniel approaching until he stopped beside her, expression guarded but curious. "You're acting different," he said, glancing at her briefly, then at Jae-min, who leaned against the pillar across the courtyard, arms folded. Amina's stomach fluttered. "Different?" she asked cautiously. "Yes, I mean, the way you look at him. You're close." Her cheeks warmed. "I'm not sure what you mean," she said, forcing a casual tone, though every nerve in her body screamed the truth. Daniel nodded slowly, eyes sharp. "Right, sure. But just be careful, okay? He's intense." "I know," she whispered, voice low. Her gaze drifted to Jae-min, who didn't move, didn't blink. But every muscle in his body radiated awareness, control, and a barely restrained storm of emotion. The day passed in a haze. Every class felt charged. Every interaction seemed heavier. By the time they were back at the estate, Amina's nerves were taut. Jae-min didn't waste time. He strode directly to his father's office, the storm from the courtyard still thrumming in his veins.
"Father," he said, voice low, sharp. "We need to talk." His father looked up from his papers, expression neutral. "About what?" "About Amina Clarke." Jae-min's voice was steady, but there was fire behind it. "You say she's involved now. She's part of this. I won't let anyone harm her, whether you like it or not." His father's gaze sharpened. "Do you think you can protect her? Do you understand what you're saying?" "I understand exactly what I'm saying," Jae-min said, jaw tight. "I will do whatever it takes. She is under my protection. No exceptions." His father studied him silently, then leaned back, expression unreadable. "Very well, but know this, son. This world doesn't forgive mistakes. Not even for you." Jaemin's eyes darkened, stormy and unwavering. "I don't make mistakes. She's mine to protect. And I trust her, so call off your men." Later, Amina was in the sitting room when his mother entered, a delicate smile on her face, eyes sharp and calculating. "You've quite the hand over my son," she said, tilting her head slightly. Her tone was amused, but not entirely harmless. "I wondered when someone would finally reach him." Amina flushed, unsure how to respond. I'm not trying to." "Oh, I know," Mrs. Kang said, softly, walking closer. "But desire isn't something you can control. He's disciplined, cold, and precise. But you've touched something in him that no one else has." Amina swallowed hard, pulse racing. "I didn't mean to." Mrs. Kang's smile fell. "Intentions are irrelevant. What matters is that you're now part of this family's world, and that includes my son." Amina's chest tightened at the weight of her words, and at the implication. The path she had willingly chosen was dangerous, consuming, and irrevocable. Mrs. Kang turned, but paused at the doorway. "Just know, Miss Clarke, we don't do breakups in this family." The warning in Mrs. Kang's words fell like a ton of bricks on her chest.
That evening, Jae-min returned, quieter than usual, yet the storm inside him still simmered just beneath the surface. He found Amina in the sitting room, still clutching the small pendant she always wore. Without a word, he sat beside her, their hands brushed, fingers entwining. And for the first time since yesterday, the silence wasn't tense. It was shared, fragile, and intimate. She looked up at him. "Are you okay?" He gave a small, almost imperceptible smile. "I am now," he murmured, voice low. "But tomorrow we face the world again. And it won't be easy." Amina nodded, resting her head briefly on his shoulder. "I know, but I'm not leaving." He pressed a gentle kiss to her hair, a promise, a warning, a tether. No matter the danger, no matter the chaos, they were in this together. And for the first time, Amina felt the weight of the world and the fire of their connection more vividly than ever. The calendar on Amina's desk seemed to mock her. 30 days until she had to leave Seoul, leave the Kang estate, and most painfully, leave Jae-min. She tried to focus on classes, on the project deadlines, on anything that might distract her, but her mind kept drifting. Every glance at him, every accidental brush of fingers, every moment of shared laughter carried a weight she couldn't ignore. Jae-min, for his part, was no better. He moved with his usual intensity, precise and controlled, but there was an edge now, sharper than before. Every time she laughed at a comment from Daniel or lingered on a trivial detail, he stiffened, jaw tightening, eyes darkening with something dangerous she couldn't name. One evening, after class, Daniel lingered a little too close, helping Amina with notes. She didn't notice Jae-min watching from across the lecture hall until his sudden presence loomed beside her. "You're taking advice from him?" Jae-min's voice was low, controlled, but the tension beneath it made her heart race. He was just helping me. I didn't—" "You're mine," he said quietly, almost a growl. His eyes, dark and stormy, flicked to Daniel and then back to her, warning and protective. "Don't forget that." Amina's breath hitched. I haven't," she whispered, but the words felt inadequate. Even as she said them, she felt the weight of the coming separation pressing against her chest. Back at the estate, the looming departure was impossible to ignore. 30 days, Amina murmured, pacing the sitting room. 30 days until I have to go back to London. How are we supposed to— Her voice trailed off, caught in the ache that had been growing for weeks. Jae-min appeared in the doorway, black coat draped over his arm, eyes unreadable. "We'll figure it out," he said, tone clipped, but when he stepped closer, the controlled mask slipped for just a fraction of a second, revealing the storm beneath. "You say that," she said softly, "but what if I leave, and you—" He silenced her with a finger to her lips. Don't even think about leaving me," he murmured, his voice rough with restrained emotion. "You're staying, here, with me, and I'll make sure nothing separates us. Not my world, not London, not anything." Tears pricked her eyes, and she pressed her forehead against his chest. "I don't want to go," she whispered, heartbreaking. "And you won't have to," he murmured, lips brushing her hair. "I'll do everything to keep you here, and when the time comes, we'll deal with it, together." Her hands clutched at him, nails grazing his back as if holding on to both him and the moment itself. The intensity of the months, the danger, the love, they were all pressing in, a storm neither of them could resist. Jae-min tilted her chin up, eyes dark and stormy. "You've got me," he said softly, "and I'm not letting go." For the first time, Amina let herself believe it, let herself feel the depth of what had grown between them, love, desire, and something fiercer than fear. But even as she held him close, the reality of her impending departure lingered like a shadow, a ticking clock over the fragile intimacy they had fought to carve out in a dangerous world. The next month would test them in ways neither of them were prepared for, and every heartbeat, every stolen glance, every brush of fingers became a reminder time was running out, and nothing would ever be the same. The morning air in Seoul was crisp, carrying the scent of autumn leaves, but nothing felt ordinary to Amina. Every moment with Jae-min was now weighed down by the clock, ticking toward her departure. Every glance, every touch, every stolen moment was precious and fleeting. She walked across the campus with him by her side, hand brushing against his subtly, letting him squeeze hers in response. It was a small gesture, but in the chaos of his world, it felt like a lifeline. Daniel walked past, and Amina noticed his lingering gaze. "You two, you've been awfully close lately," he said casually, though his eyes betrayed concern. Jae-min's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly, a dark flash in his eyes. Amina felt it immediately, a possessive intensity that made her pulse spike. She leaned slightly closer to him, brushing his sleeve with her fingers. "Well, we are living in the same house," she said softly, trying to mask the flutter in her chest as she sensed Daniel's reaction. Daniel raised his hands in surrender, an awkward smile on his face. "Right. Sure. I didn't mean anything, just observation." Amina watched him walk away, heart pounding. Her own mind was a mess. Jae-min's grip on her hand tightened in response to her tension, a silent warning and reassurance all at once. Back at the Kang estate, the weight of the last month pressed down on them. 2 weeks, Amina whispered, pacing the bedroom. 2 weeks until I leave for London. Jae-min, standing near the window, arms crossed, finally turned to her, expression muted. "Stop counting," he said, voice low and controlled, though she could feel the storm behind his words. "I can't stop thinking about it," she said, stopping to face him. "I don't want to leave, and I don't want us to end." He stepped closer, and for a moment his usual walls fell away. "You're not leaving me," he said, hands framing her face gently. "And we're not ending. I won't allow it." But his gaze darkened, dangerous. "You need to understand the cost. My world will always be a threat, and I can't always shield you completely." Amina's heart ached, but she pressed closer, hands sliding to his chest. "I'll face it with you." Jaemin's lips captured hers in a slow, smoldering kiss, one that carried all the longing, frustration, and urgency of their love. She clung to him, feeling his body tense and then relax against hers, the weight of unspoken promises between them. When they finally pulled apart, he rested his forehead against hers, voice low and hoarse. "I want to take every second with you," he murmured. "But the closer we get, the higher the stakes become. You're mine, and that means danger follows." "I don't care about the danger. I care about you." He swallowed hard, dark eyes softening for a fleeting moment. Amina pressed a hand to his chest, feeling the rapid pulse beneath her fingers. And for a moment, the world outside, the university, his enemies, even London, didn't exist. There was only them, their love, and the fragile, urgent hours they had left before the world demanded their separation. The last weeks of Amina's exchange felt like a countdown. Every morning, every lecture, Every walk across campus was laced with the bittersweet knowledge that their time together was slipping through their fingers. But Jaemin's resolve had solidified. Parting ways was no longer an option. He had spent sleepless nights considering the world outside their bubble, his enemies, his family, but dangers she could face, and one truth stood above all else. She was his. He found her sitting alone in the student lounge one afternoon, headphones in, pretending to study, but clearly lost in thought. His heart clenched at the sight of her, delicate yet fierce, so unaware of how much she had come to mean to him. "Amina," he said, voice low, making her look up. Her eyes widened at him, warmth spreading through her chest at the sight of him. "I wasn't expecting you," she murmured, heart skipping. "Sit," he commanded softly. And when she did, he took her hands in his, fingers lacing together. "We need to stop pretending there's a tomorrow where we might be apart." Her brow furrowed. "Jae-min, what are you saying?" He drew a small box from his coat pocket, opening it to reveal a simple, elegant ring. Her breath caught, and the world seemed to tilt slightly. "I'm saying that parting ways isn't an option," he said, voice steady, but every word carried the weight of months of longing, danger, and restraint. "I can't lose you. You're not just part of my life. You are my life. Amina Clarke, will you marry me?" Tears welled in her eyes. "Marry you?" she whispered, voice trembling. "Yes," he said, cupping her face, thumbs brushing over her cheeks. "We'll stay here. You can finish your studies in Korea with me. I'll make every moment count. No threats, no distance, no London separating us. Just us." Her hands flew to his face, fingers tangling in his hair as tears spilled freely. I don't know what to say." "You don't need to say anything," he murmured, voice low, almost a growl. "Just say yes. That's all I need." She looked into his eyes, dark, stormy, and utterly devoted, and felt her heart surrender completely. "Yes," she whispered, the word trembling but certain. "Yes, Jae-min. I'll stay with you." A slow, almost reverent smile spread across his face, and he pressed a gentle kiss to her lips, sealing the promise. This time, there was no restraints, no fear, no hesitation, just the certainty of love that had fought through danger, jealousy, and time itself. As they pulled back, foreheads pressed together, the world outside seemed to fall away. There was only them and the months ahead, theirs to share, together, unstoppable and unbroken. Hey friends, so do you think Amina is brave or reckless for staying in his world? And how do you think his parents will feel about this impulsive decision? Be sure to subscribe for more.